Hi, my name's Ruth Donnelly and I'm Assistant Director at the University of Edinburgh Career Service. Delighted that you're joining me for this session talking about the Students as Change Agents programme and some of the key lessons we learned from taking it online in June this year. Before I go on to those, let me just introduce the programme. It's a development programme for students which involves challenge-led experiential learning with external partners. It's part of the university's data-driven innovation initiative, which again is part of a greater whole, contributing to the Edinburgh Region City Deal. We were funded by this initiative in 2019-20 to run 3 pilots with students, doing face-to-face challenges, around 50 students per programme with 3 to 4 organisations. And the challenges they were dealing with were addressing at least 2 of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals and intersected areas of interest for students, as well as areas of strategic focus for the university. Examples from previous pilots include the circular economy, ending violence against children, and gender financial equality. So our online programme was delivered over 4 weeks during lockdown and attracted 3 times as many students as the face-to-face version. We ended up with around 150 participants dealing with 2 challenges, one relating to sustainable tourism, set by the Edinburgh Tourism Action Group and Edinburgh Festivals, and the other one about reducing youth homelessness, set by Clan Child Law, which is a charity involved in supporting young people and children who are vulnerable in Scotland. Ideally, we would have had more than 2 challenge partners, but under the circumstances, this was quite an achievement getting 2 to dedicate their time to it. It meant that we had 20 student groups, so 10 groups working on each challenge. The students have reported back incredibly positively about the experience. And as well as meeting the learning outcomes of the traditional programme, there were a lot of unexpected benefits for the students. Top of that list, I would say, would be accessibility. The programme was incredibly flexibly delivered, which meant that they were able to combine it with other commitments, such as part-time work, childcare responsibilities, or other caring responsibilities. The sessions were recorded, so they were able to catch up if they missed them. And the students were able to work flexibly within their groups, so meeting mostly afternoons, evenings, and at weekends, to be able to accommodate other demands on their time. We're very used to having a very international community at Edinburgh University, but that international reach was really extended and brought a new dimension to the programme. We had students from across the world taking part, which added its challenge in terms of working across multiple time zones, but also added an extra interest for the students working with people from other countries and hearing their perspectives of how the pandemic was affecting in their country of residence. There was a strong sense of community also built up, not just between the students, none of whom knew each other before the beginning of the programme. They are interdisciplinary groups, so they had to get to know people from other courses, other levels of study in their groups, but also got to know the staff and the external partners a bit better too. We felt that we were all learning together, and we'd never tried this before. We did it in a relatively short space of time. So everyone was quite open and honest when they couldn't navigate the online platforms or wanted to share tips about how to do it better. The skills and confidence side of things was also incredibly positive. Traditionally, the programme develops skills in complex problem solving, in using data to solve problems, and in teamwork. And in addition to that, the students reported on a marked increase in their digital literacy, with the navigating the platforms I've already alluded to. We used Microsoft Teams, Collaborate, and an online software program for whiteboarding called Mural. It wasn't always easy and there was negative feedback, but students were able to get their heads around that in time and were grateful for being thrown in at the deep end. The amount of drive that students needed was increased with the online version. They had to organise themselves to stay motivated, to keep up the momentum, to keep each other on track, to be able to deliver on time without anybody breathing down their necks, and did that very successfully. And like all of us, I think the remote collaboration was another area where students were really grateful to have a safe space to learn and possibly fail and then improve, learning to listen better online, to watch for non-verbal cues, not to talk over each other, and to be able to have a positive outcome to their collaboration. Moving on then to the partners, I've already said that they had huge numbers of students working on their challenge, which added to the number of very innovative, diverse ideas that the students came up with. And those ideas were brought to life in very high quality short videos, as well as short business style reports that the partner organisations are able to make use of. It made it easier for them to participate in the online events from not having to travel, though because of working across multiple time zones, we did have to run a couple of the live events twice, morning and afternoon, to accommodate students. They were also able to include more people in the activity, and particularly in the end events, within their organisation and with partner organisations who have an interest in the challenge topic, because it was a matter of an hour or two out of their day rather than 3 or 4. And for university staff, I've put a picture here of our traditional setup with the room booking and us being able to keep an eye on what's happening with students by hovering outside the door or over their shoulders. The difference with working on Microsoft Teams is that we could get a real bird's eye view of what was going on. We could pinpoint problems very, very quickly and respond very immediately to any questions, problems, or areas that we thought needed intervention. It saved a lot of time and resource being able to work like that. And importantly, it gave an opportunity for staff across the university to connect with students during lockdown. And as one of their group coaches commented, helped with her lockdown motivation woes. Many of the volunteer coaches either didn't deal traditionally one-to-one with students, so were very keen to get the opportunity to do that. Or if they did deal one-to-one with students, were missing that opportunity. So it turned out to be a very good news story for the university in fostering connections and a sense of community when our students were very remote from us, providing a meaningful development opportunity when travel and work experience opportunities were closed to students, and gave them something really positive to do with their time. They were so pleased to be able to have a positive impact on pressing challenges and be able to look at those with the addition of the COVID lens. And finally, there has been some follow-on activities with at least 2 of the student groups trying to develop their ideas into social enterprises. But probably the most important of the outcomes for the university was evidence that this programme can scale. It can scale without having to increase the number of staff dramatically. And it means that we have now had funding offered for next year to continue running online at this really large scale. So thank you for your time listening if you've got to this stage. Further information can be found on any of these medium. And I'm more than happy to answer questions or discuss your own experiences of putting student development programs online. Thank you for your time.